Boy, that is a tight circulational loss. That is a very tight circulational loss. So if this is on the ground, this is headed right towards the Elizabethtown area in northern Crittenden County, and it is in northern Livingston County right now. We'll change sites to see, and again, you see how it's not quite as impressive from the Paducah site. This is closer to the ground, so it tells us that strong circulational loss may not be reaching the ground at this time. But the way this atmosphere has been, these storms have produced. Brian, you've got an update for me?
I was just going to point out, and I think you were mentioning this a few minutes ago, you're concentrating on that one cell where the tornado warning is in effect, rightfully so, but that line of storms developing in Kentucky down into northwest Tennessee is really getting stronger quickly. And so, places like, Graves County, Callaway County, Marshall County, Kentucky, Weakley County, Obion County, Tennessee, that's an area that we're going to have to really watch here over the next hour or so, because those storms, no warnings right now, but they get stronger and stronger almost by the minute.
Yeah, that's a very volatile atmosphere, those storms moving in. I think within the hour we're going to have lots of warnings with those storms.
Yeah, that storm we were just tracking that's out of our area right now, there is a confirmed tornado in Morganfield.
So that's the second tornado, because that's the same storm that produced the tornado in Paducah. So again, these storms are producing tornadoes, even when they don't look that impressive on radar. We've got Carsville here, right here. Look at this, 135. This is where the rotation. This is Golconda right here. It's moving just to the east of there. Here's Elizabethtown, right on the Ohio River. This circulation is going to go right on the south side. So this is Highway 135 near the intersection. Highway 135 near the intersection of 297 with 135, the intersection of 723 and 135. That's where this possible tornado is going to be going over the next 10 minutes or so. Again, these things are moving fast. You can see the hook right here. I'll try to zoom in even closer to see if we get any more local roads out ahead of it. I'm not going to zoom right in on the hook because of how fast it's moving. I want to move into this intersection to see if any other roads pop up, any more communities. So you can kind of see here, Cave Spring Road, Pisgah Road, Beam Road. If you live in these areas, you need to be in your basement right now. If you have, you can see Crittenden Road. You definitely need to be in your basement, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you don't have a basement, get to that lowest level interior room, because this storm is moving very, very fast. And it's probably right here at this moment, because this was the last update. Again, these radar takes about 90 seconds to 2 minutes sometimes to go all the way around and update all the information. So this is probably located right at the intersection of Pisgah Road and Highway 133, 135, and Highway 133. All these areas is where we're tracking this possible tornado, and along and just to the south side of Cave Spring Road. You can see Carsville here. We're seeing the possibility of that tornado moving into that neck of the woods. Carr Road coming east of there. This is the in northern Livingston County and northern Crittenden County. They just trimmed the warning a little bit with that information. Did they give us any new information on the storm itself? Any reports from it?
No, but we have two right there in eastern parts of Hardin County that are showing rotations. That one that you were talking about just near Cave and Rock, but also another rotation in kind of the most eastern part of Hardin County that will be moving out of the end. There you go, our new update.
But that one near Cave and Rock is looking pretty intense.
Yeah,
and a new severe thunderstorm warning for that line that we're watching down south. So again, what we're talking about, this is our next round. We were hoping we would get about a 15-minute break to catch our breath and get our bearings, but we're not gonna. This is gonna keep going for the next few hours. Again, our main window of opportunity for severe weather today was between 8 and 12. We talked about that in depth last night, and it is now 10:30, and based on the speed of these storms, it's probably going to take until about 12 to get us out of this area. So, again, a new severe thunderstorm warning. We have a new rotation that Wibbs just was showing us. Again, Wibbs was able to point out that last tornado that was right near Cave Rock before the warning was issued. And that's why we like to have so many eyes on the radar on a day like today, because there's so many storms, and if we're just relying on one set of eyes, we could miss something. But that's what she's talking about right there. There's a little couplet that was forming that looks pretty tight. There's no warning with it right now, but if I was in eastern Hardin County in this environment, I would be in my safe spot for 5 minutes. It'll be out of your area in 5 minutes. And then you have to worry about this storm, which is not looking as impressive on the velocities, But again, the storm that touched down in Paducah didn't look extremely impressive. It wasn't a textbook-looking tornadic storm on radar, but we still had that tornado that did cause damage. So here is the latest line that we're watching, and it would be great if this just formed into a line and didn't stay separate. We've got what appears to be 2 or 3 different updrafts, one here, and one here. They're very close together. This is the storm we're going to have to watch closely right here, just to the east of Clinton, because it would be the least contaminated, and that's the one that's going to head just to the northwest side of Mayfield, Kentucky. You can see this warning is out until 11 o'clock in the morning, and we have a new warning, a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued as well. Let's get everybody caught up to date on that. That is with the storm, unfortunately, moving right into the same spot that just got hit in Paducah.
Looks like some pretty heavy, maybe some large hail.
Yeah, and we've got early detection. This is an early detection of a possible tornado trying to develop on the north side of Paducah from First Alert Doppler Network. It's showing that rotation is forming with that storm. So, again, that is the area that was hit earlier. I'm not sure where that picture I'm looking at is in the upper right corner. Somebody can tell me where we are? Hello? That's McCracken County near exit 4. So let's kind of keep our eyes on that as well. I don't know which way they're facing, which way they're pointing, but they're pointing into this severe thunderstorm. And again, I'm focusing on this because this is a developing updraft, and that's usually when we get tornadoes to develop. And this is hitting that same area that, hey, take the picture whole, would you? Put the picture behind me, please. The whole picture, if we can do that. The whole, yeah. All right, so do we know what road this is right here?
I think that's 60, right?
Well, no, that would be, no, that's not, that doesn't look like I-24, does it? Is it I-24? I guess so. Okay. So where is it? And he is facing north, I take it? There's some police right, yeah, okay, and there's an exit sign. So this is 24, and this is right near what intersection with Highway?
Exit 4.
Okay, so this is 60.
60.
Okay, so this is in that same area that got hit. This is the updraft of that developing thunderstorm. Very ominous looking, but right now we are not seeing any funnels. Is there any way we can get a wider shot, or is this a single set lens? I don't know if they can broad. Beautiful, thank you. Okay, we've got the rear flank downdraft formula. Look at that horseshoe right here. So this is a developing supercell. This is what we call when we get that horseshoe shape to the bottom of the cloud, we've got rain and wind punching down, and it's in this general area that sometimes you'll get a spin up. So if we can continue to see the camera just kind of follow this base for the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, and then let us know. Let's go back to the radar. That's a big help. Thanks for showing us that. That lets me know what this storm is doing right now. And so we're right here. We were pointing the camera right in this general direction. This is the storm itself. This is where that updraft is, and that horseshoe, what we call that, it's called a rear flank downdraft. I know, unless you're a weather nerd like a lot of us, you won't know what I'm talking about, but that's a sign that a tornado may be trying to develop. So right now, did they put possible tornado in the warning?
They did not.
They did not, because I mean, it just looks like an intense updraft, and I just have a hard time believing we're going to get something again, but it's moving right in that same area, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on that very closely, and we have a camera on it as well. So our tornado warning right now, that storm is moving off to the northeast. It's moving right in this general area. It's crossing into Hardin County. We've got another severe thunderstorm warning that is moving towards the Mayfield area. We have that tornado warning that we were tracking has moved out of our area, and like Laura said, it has produced another tornado outside of the heartland. So we've already had at least 2 confirmed tornadoes, and I think we're going to see a few more before the day is over, unfortunately. For you folks across most of southern Illinois and southeast Missouri, I mean, look, you've got clear skies you're going to have. You may get sunny skies. I'm not sure if it's sunny here yet or not. I've been in the studio for 2.5 hours, but that sun will mix down very strong gusty winds. So even without thunderstorms, we're going to see winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour across parts of southeast Missouri and southern Illinois, and it wouldn't surprise me if some of those ridge tops in St. Francis, St. Genevieve counties, and in Madison County, Iron and Reynolds County, if we saw 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And that's with sunny skies. So we could see some wind damage without storms today as well. But let's zoom back into the areas of greatest concern right now. Again, western Kentucky, we're tracking a tornado warning that is moving into Hardin County right now, and that's with this storm right here. You know what, Wibbs? Look at that. They did issue a tornado warning on that circulation that was in eastern Hardin County. They issued a new tornado warning. That's outside of our area, but that's what Wibbs picked up on that second rotation near Cave in Rock.
Yeah,
and they did
have a tornado on the ground near Henderson, Kentucky, which is pretty close to the Ohio River, right?
Yeah, so that would be that. There's the rotation is still kind of showing up there near Elizabethtown. And there is probably a hail spike, but it's a little bit suspicious. It's moving right through the Elizabethtown area. So let's zoom in to this storm. Again, we have a tornado warning out for this storm right here in Hardin County. We've got a tornado warning out also for northern Livingston County and Crittenden County, but that warning was for this storm right here. And again, this storm looks like it's moving a little more north than the other storms previously were, but we're seeing that possible rotation moving into the Elizabethtown area right now. Regardless of if we have that, we've got very strong winds. So along Highway 146, all the way stretching out towards the north side of Cave in Rock, you want to be in your safe spot. Get underground if you can. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, as we have a possible tornado, radar-indicated tornado, moving into this area as we speak. Now, I'm going to pan things down just to the south a bit because I want to see this new storm that officially it's in the warning, but this is not what the warning was issued for. But again, these storms have been spinning up pretty fast. Just a lot of strong gusty winds in there. Not seeing the big indication of tornadoes with this storm right now. And as we pan down a little farther south, we're going to head towards the storm in Paducah, because this is where we've been hit hard already today. And there's the sign of the rear flank downdraft. You see that little curly Q right there, how it that's where the wind is punching down towards the ground. And sometimes when that happens, it spins up a circulation on the northeast side of it. So this is where we would be watching for a possible tornado. But when we look at the winds inside the storm, it's hinting that it may be trying to do a little circulation.
That camera view at 1624, that might be a good time to look at that camera.
Yeah, we've got it. It may be a little too far north, but let's take a look at it. Yeah, now turn the camera to the right.
Yeah.
He's going to have to swing it to the right considerably, because this is the back side of the storm. You can see there's clear skies. So there's it's going to be tough to see from his vantage point now. So we're not going to be able to see anything from this storm now, from this camera vantage point, because it's just moving too fast. But a possible circulation is forming right here. Again, this is between Brookport and Unionville. Officially, we don't have a tornado warning out on it just yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. This is kind of how the storms act. The air punches down, and it does this little horseshoe shape, and then part of it comes up to the east side, and that's where we watch for that spin up. And right now we're not seeing it. There's not a tornado warning, but that is what we're going to be watching for between Brookport and Unionville, the possibility of a tornado warning being issued if this circulation continues. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to back up because I also want to take a look at the storm that is down near that is moving towards Mayfield there. Boy, that storm north Paducah just is looking intense. It is really growing fast. So we're going to, again, continue to monitor that very closely, as that has signs that a tornado may try to develop here shortly with that. Now, this is good news, Brian and Laura, right now. This is very linear. There are some cells, individual cells, but they're really competing for the energy right now, as they're very close together. We watched this one cell near Fancy Farm. Again, we're not seeing any signs of a tornado with these cells just yet, and hopefully that trend will continue, because if they just all stay together in a line, you can see there's air coming together right here. These colors coming together means the air is coming together, it's rising to the surface, so these storms are developing. But right now, there's a lot of them. They have to continue to compete with one another, as the atmosphere is very volatile. So
that warning up toward Evansville, it's interesting. We're still watching chat, and apparently there is a confirmed tornado with that cell that they're monitoring in the Henderson, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana area right now.
And again, that's the storm
just northeast of our
that caused all the problems in the Paducah area. And this storm right here is, you look at the bright purple, that tells me that This is a composite where we're looking at all the radars, and so we're getting views from different angles on that storm, and that tells us that it has a very high reflectivity core, which means there's likely some hail with it.
We're showing some 1-inch hail with that one.
That's on the north side of Paducah,
On our
and we're
3D,
still
yeah.
seeing that it's still showing hints of that downdraft. So I would be very concerned on the southeast side of this storm in this environment. We'll see what happens if it continues to show these signs. But again, no tornado warning just yet. This is on the north side of Unionville. This is Massac County. This storm shows incredible strength. This is one of the stronger storms we've seen today